It's about damn time. Ah yes, Dynasty Warriors 2. As we finally come to review the game that started the hack and slash genre for Dynasty Warriors, literally shifting it over from its fighting game origins, I have a confession to make. This was the second to last game I ever bought from the Dynasty Warriors franchise. I kid you not. With the last game ironically being Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. Yeah, 9 Empires was the last game I ever bought for this series. More importantly, this game right here and one were really hard games to find. So, is it worth the price? Well, that's what this review is for. I'll be going over the cons, I'll be going over the pros of a game that literally established itself as one of the kings of the hack and slash genre, as a game that is full of memes, like beating up the yellow turbans and pursuing Lubu. But more importantly, a game that happened to lead a series that would try to kill itself on more than one occasion. But whatever the case, there had interesting ideas and interesting concepts when moving away from the fighting game genre. Let's see what type of ideas they have and how they work as we once again pursue that rapscallion Lubu in Dynasty Warriors 2. Let's go with this review, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, where do we begin? How about we start with the biggest problems of this game? Grinding and RNG. RNG meaning it is going to be RNG that you actually get power-ups other than life-ups that will help you. Like, for instance, things that will heal your life after you took some damage. But more importantly, it is going to be RNG depending on how much hits you Delver in order to get swords and shields. Yeah, those make their triumphant debut here. As well as you trying to find the locations of the dim sum and the Musa wine in the game. But that's not all. You also have to find the interim saves in the game. Oh boy! As if anybody wants to take time out of their day to try to find an area for them to save peacefully. And even then, you gotta make sure you're not attacked by archers, let alone by the soldiers themselves, because believe it or not, they will actually kill you. More than the pros. But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is what that guy is riding. A horse. Yeah, there are no items in this game. You can't come in with a horse. Everybody else can, but you can't. And do you want to know why? Because you're apparently a general or a foot soldier compared to all the generals in the game. Even though you pretty much come in with Lubu, he does not have a horse. Well, you could steal the computer versions of Lubu's horse, but he doesn't have a horse. And let alone if you try to ride a horse and you go too far without it, the horse is going to disappear. And it can't pick up items. Jesus Christ. Also, the controls are stiff too. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, on to the pros. Folks, we have a colorful cast of characters to choose from, and you can pick whoever you want to go into the Musou or free mode campaign. And also, some of these guys will carry over from the very first game if you have a save file on the PS2. So that is actually pretty cool. This is the first game that did it without an Extreme Legends mode attached to it. Oh, and speaking of things that's the first time, let's not forget about that oh so great hokey voice acting.
In the spring of the year 184, Zhang Jiao raised the Chinese people against the decadent and corrupt Han Dynasty. Followers of Zhang proudly wore yellow cloths around their heads. Thus was born the Yellow Turban Rebellion. The beleaguered Han sent out their call for help and ordered a campaign against the Yellow Turbans, who numbered in the hundreds of thousands. From all across the country, brave men and women stood to answer this call of duty. Their stories, their legends are about to begin.
Ah yes, that's just good old-fashioned voice acting when it has it. But most of the time it doesn't. Still, there is one thing it does have, at least it has a free mode, unlike Dynasty Warriors 7, but still, you have 8 stages to choose from, and not just that. Difficulty actually matters, especially this guy. You see, I did mention something along the lines of the soldiers will kick your ass and so too will the archers. This is the first game that does it. That's why I say difficulty actually matters. And despite how terribly I played, because this is from my playthrough of Dynasty Warriors 2, as you can tell, I was terrible at editing back then. Needless to say, you still had other things to help you out, like the bow and arrow, because the bow and arrow would probably be just as powerful as the enemies. Needless to say, you also had another weapon on your side, which is the fact that you can charge Musou. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely the bee's knees, especially when you need to use combos to take out enemies real quick, and because when they get off from the ground and you stop the combo and leave them alone, they will heal, they will buff themselves, and it will not be pretty, as you could see. Needless to say, folks, while jank as this game is, there is some charm to it. And with that, let's go to the rating. And with the pros and cons compiled, it is now time to give this game its rating. Dynasty Warriors 2 will get the rating of worth it. I can't give it any higher than that. And there's the main reason why. The grinding, the horse mechanics, the RNG, and most importantly, interim saves and boxes. While the PS1 tank controls is also there too, that's because of the fact that you could actually use the controller pad instead of the controller stick. Still, that will pose a problem because it is tank control and there's a lot of jank in it. Although there is some good ideas like carryover characters, difficulty and 1,000 KOs mattering, combos being available from the start, free mode, Musou mode, the voice acting that I didn't add on, and everything else, still, the stuff that plagues it ends up getting carried over to later games. And yeah, it does have a good start, but it sputters out in the end, especially since it's a short game. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all in the next review.